think that a problem that we all collectively share, an enduring issue, if you will, that we experience as a society is believing that just because we're getting along with someone that we're attracted to and it's good vibes, that we're romantically compatible. I don't know if it's like social conditioning or if it's this innate inability for us to pick good partners, but or maybe it's a mixture of the two. I mean, we even have names for it. We call it puppy love. We call it the honeymoon phase, where we literally acknowledge this phenomenon. Did I say that right? I don't know. But we literally acknowledge that we're susceptible to this type of love that is good for when it's good. Honestly, I would have nothing to say. I wouldn't have a video to make on this if it literally just stopped at that, but it is like it is just there's so many people that hinge their romantic life point blank period on this dynamic, on the good vibe partner who we're not really compatible with, but the good times are so good. I mean, we all have that friend who shouts, "My man, my man, my man," from the rooftop. However, we, as the viewer, as the friend, can see that they're not compatible, but then we somehow end up in the same situation and we cannot see clearly ourselves. We still end up susceptible to and blind to the signs that we ourselves are in the puppy love stage. I have always been very, very critical of romance since a very young age. I literally remember sitting at Golden Corral with my dad. I was still in middle school telling him, I just don't believe in marriage. And I think I literally used the word puppy love. Like I already had this understanding that a lot of crushes that even I was experiencing was puppy love. But even with that awareness, I still myself still feel attracted, extremely attracted to the things that are not good for me, for the people who are not good for me, for the boy who is not good for me. And if I had a sliver less of the self control that I have, I would probably be in those. So I just wanted to make it clear that I am not judging. Girl, I get it. That got me thinking, as someone who I consider myself pretty goal oriented, and I think I'm usually trying to make the most optimal decision for myself, especially regarding the type of company I keep. Why do I and so many others have this craving for what is bad? Why do we choose the wrong choice? So, the first reason I came to was that people tend to bet on the impossible choice. And even if you are a calculated person and you have a calculated approach to life, a lot of us lose that sense of ourselves when attraction does come into play. Without even realizing it, we're gambling with our hearts. When someone gives us even the slightest hope that they could evolve into the person that we find ourselves to be most compatible with. And when you're sitting there thinking that, you're not even stopping to consider that the other person is probably thinking the same of you, probably waiting for you to change while you're waiting for them to change, right? And these dynamics tend to have two partners who have different communication styles. They have different needs that need to be met. They have different attachment styles and priorities and life paths, and that is just how you get things translated horribly. That is the secret recipe to just not getting your point across, right? So if you keep on finding yourself telling yourself that you're waiting for this person to make major changes or even a bunch of minor changes, are you compatible or are the vibes just really good? Another reason that I don't necessarily resonate with, but I totally understand, people don't like to be alone. The taste of that puppy love is enough to really give someone a lifelong thirst for it. And this is okay if this is you, but you tasted what that felt like to feel understood in that puppy love phase, to feel loved, and you want to replicate that first moment of feeling in love. In every relationship that you get into, no matter how corrupted the mold has become, you're trying to smush that person into that box and get them to fit, and it's not working. But every time you do find a new connection, you're in a rush, you're an emotional rush, and your adrenaline is pumping because you're convincing yourself that is my person. This is how I felt when I first fell in love, and maybe that didn't work, but this person, they're the one. And you again are getting into these, you're butting heads, but those good moments, they are so good. They're so good. So you're literally just constantly craving those good moments. So you're sticking through the bad to feel the good again. And I want to tell you, do not do that. Please do not do that. Oh my God, please don't do that. I'm literally going off script to say that. Another reason that I feel like I stumbled upon, I kind of brought up earlier, but I do feel like there is a social conditioning for us to be delusional. If you think about like the most popular romantic tropes, right? It's enemies to lovers, it's friends to lovers, it's first love or love at first sight. See, girl, I don't even believe in it. I feel like there is a social conditioning for us to be delusional. I do think that we are being conditioned, and we have been conditioned for a very long time. I'm not talking about, oh, this generation. It's not this generation. Girl, it's an enduring issue, as I said. If you think about all the most romantic or most popular romantic tropes, right? They're all cool and dandy and fun to read, but they're just not realistic, right? They're not realistic when you start to put in money, finances, children, work life, taxes. Like it it's not realistic when you're so deep in those tropes and you're so delusional, right? Lack of a better term. You're really forgetting the fact that you are with a real life person. You're not with a fictional character. There's a lot of responsibility that I feel goes unnoticed when it comes to being a person in a relationship, being in a romantic relationship, even being in platonic friendships, but romantic, especially if I'm in my 20s. You want to start building your life. You're trying to place down the building blocks, right? And when you start to conjoin your life with someone, that is a lot of responsibility that you're taking on. And we do not give enough credit to the fact that you are literally merging your life with someone else's. Romance is a responsibility, right? And if you have been in a relationship, if you are in a relationship, if you've been in a situation, girl, whatever that means to you, I support whatever your definition is, whatever you have been in. Take a moment to step back, zoom out, look at it objectively, right? And try to look at it in all with all the seriousness in the world, because it is pretty serious. And ask yourself, is this something that you're willing to bet the rest of your life on?